There's more bad news for Sharmeen Obaid-Chinoy and Daisy Ridley's upcoming Star Wars film. Not only does it look like the film is getting the boot due to Jon Favreau's The Mandalorian and Grogu film, but the reason why it's getting the boot might be because there is no script for the film yet. Before we get into this, I'd like to ask you, please hit that subscribe button, hit that bell for notifications so you don't miss any of our future videos here at the Trent Report. So let's get into this here. This is over at thatparkplace.com. A new rumor says that Sharmeen Obaid-Chinoy's new Jedi Order film starring Daisy Ridley does not have a script. This comes from Jason Ward over at Making Star Wars on YouTube. This is what he said. Today I was told that Knight hasn't got to get to it yet. The scheduling, the stars did not align. Stephen Knight was simply the person that if they picked up, who they could get in that moment, and then it never lined up. Ward clarified, saying, not saying he's off it, not saying he's going to write it or not going to write it. I don't know. He then said, but if you wanted my opinion on it, I think Knight writing that movie it's either been moved to give Knight the opportunity to write it or it's going to be a different writer. I mean, I know that's saying nothing at all. I realize I did say nothing just now, but those are really the two options that are going forward off of what we got, I think. So this rumor from Jason Ward, who has been right on a number of occasions with Star Wars stuff, especially the Disney Plus shows, as well as I think The Rise of Skywalker when he was scooping that stuff all the way back in 2018, 2019. So he does have sources at Lucasfilm, and he has been accurate in the past. But this is a huge, huge problem for Sharmeen Obaid-Chinoy and the Daisy Ridley film. And maybe it's why they actually announced The Mandalorian and the Grogu movie from Jon Favreau, because we know they actually had completed a script for The Mandalorian Season 4, and all indications seem to indicate that they will be indeed adapting at least parts of that Mandalorian Season 4 script into The Mandalorian and Grogu. So obviously they already had something to work with for that film, and that's probably why it has been moved ahead, whereas the Sharmeen Obaid-Chinoy stuff, we know they had the Damon Lindelof stuff. They clearly didn't like that. They moved on from him, and then they brought in Stephen Knight. And as Star Wars Newsnet reported over here, as part of their new Jedi Order film, title rumors, production schedules, and latest speculation, they said that Knight was supposed to have completed the script by Thanksgiving. You can see here. It says sources in the know say this end of October Thanksgiving due date is in the ballpark of Lucasfilm's actual plans. And that was basically the due date they had given him for the script to be completed. It's now January. We're looking at least over a month after that due date. So maybe he's just having a tough time figuring out what's going on with that script, and he just can't find any way to get it to work. Or it's possible that he was just kind of a placeholder. They put him out there. They made that announcement and said that he would be writing the script as kind of a way to like, oh, we are still working on this project. There's still things happening. It's still moving forward, as a way to like indicate that they were actually doing something after a number of abysmal failures on Disney Plus. Obviously, they had the Ahsoka series that had worse ratings than the Andor season finale. The Ahsoka season finale performed worse than Andor. You also saw The Mandalorian season 3 perform worse than The Mandalorian season 2. So they were on a downward trend despite having more subscribers to Disney Plus, which means they would have a larger audience, more people to potentially watch it, and they're having less people tune in to watch their Star Wars shows. So it's possible maybe that was kind of like a stopgap to be like, oh, we're still working on something. We got things in the works. It's still happening to try and deflect from some of that bad PR, the evidence that shows how terribly they are doing. And I don't think the bad PR is going away for Lucasfilm. Obviously, you have Sharmeen Obaid-Chinoy going out there talking about how it's time for a woman to finally lead Star Wars when it's been led by a woman since 2012, and that woman being Kathleen Kennedy. And she's absolutely flushed the franchise down the toilet by injecting feminism into the series. And Sharmeen Obaid-Chinoy looks to be someone who is going to carry that mantle of championing feminism in Star Wars. But looks like there is no script for this film. I still think the film is probably going to get made. That's probably the one that looks like they want to do the most. Obviously, we do know that they are seemingly doing The Mandalorian and Grogu now, but I still think this film will probably get made by some what's the phrase? Crook or I don't know. I can't even remember the phrase. Terrible. But I do think it'll still get made, but it looks like it is still in development hell. and it will probably be there for a little bit longer, but they probably can't wait too long, because actors do find other projects to work on and move on from the things that aren't actually happening. But let me know what you guys think about this Star Wars Rey film not actually having a script. I mean, you really can't make it up. It's just more of a disaster over there at Lucasfilm than we can even imagine, I think, sometimes. But let me know what you guys think in the comments. Remember to always be charitable, but to always speak the truth.